G'day everyone, I am BlueBlaze and welcome to part 11 of my Halo stage tier list. Halo Wars 2 is a top-down real-time strategy game set in the Halo universe, following on from the events of the first Halo Wars. The Spirit of Fire and its crew awake from cryosleep above the Ark and begin battles with a new enemy known as the Banished, who wish to use the Ark and its secrets for their own plans. As with the first game, levels are broken into micromanaging segments where the player must control a set of units or specific characters using a cursor to complete tasks around the battlefield. Halo Wars 2 is a game I've not played as much as the first Halo Wars campaign wise, however I probably have stronger connection to it due to my affinity for its presentation, style and multiplayer aspects that I began playing in the game's Blitz beta. In this video, I will not be including the DLC stages as they most likely will have their own video, however with that out of the way, here is my ranking of Halo Wars 2's stages. The first stage, the Signal, is a fairly basic tutorial level. I think the main thing I like about this level is that the tutorial is not drawn out as much as the first Halo Wars is. I think it is a fairly solid tutorial and exploration level to show off the new game. Therefore, I think it can be placed in Legendary tier, above Reunion and below Gravemind.
Moving out.
A new enemy looks to continue the tutorial by introducing the base and unit command aspect of the game. However, to me at least, the level seems to do this in a very basic skirmish type way. The stage mainly comes down to building a base and taking down the other enemy's base with little spectacle or variation. Therefore, I think I might place a new enemy in Majestic tier, above only Sword base and below Alpha base. Ascension consists of capturing and holding 3 zones to bring out Decimus, the first boss battle of the game. I think the format works quite well for this stage, having a build-up before finishing off with an exciting spectacle as Decimus is. For me at least, it feels as if I can place it in Legendary tier, above Composer and below Outskirts.
That's gonna hurt him.
130 is part of a sub-story of stages starring Spartan Alice 130. In them, you take almost direct control of Alice and her small squad of forces in order to complete some differently designed missions. In 130, the player controls Alice to break out UNSC prisoners before defending off waves whilst waiting for extraction. I personally quite enjoy this mission and its differences to the more standard ones in the game. Therefore, I feel I may place it in Legendary tier, above Blue Team and below 2 Betrayals.
And we're ready.
The Cartographer involves taking out specific devices and protecting Anders while she is interacting with them. I'm personally not much of a fan of protecting missions, therefore I do not think I have much to say about this one overall other than, I don't know, there's not much for me. Therefore, I think I may place it in Osiris tier, above Operation Brothers Keeper and below The Breaking. Another fairly basic skirmish level, Lights Out sees the player constructing bases and taking control of the portal network previously under the Banished's hold. The mission ends with another boss battle against Decimus. As a fairly standard level, I feel it does quite well, therefore I think I may place it in Noble tier, above Shutdown and below the Pillar of Autumn.
About that, would you?
Whilst earlier I stated I was not a fan of defense missions, I think From the Deep may be one exception. Controlling Alice again, the player must defend bases against waves of enemies. The big highlight of the mission is the large banished scarab that emerges from the ocean in order to take the player down. I feel this level is a really fun way to make a defense mission. Therefore, I think I may place From the Deep in Mythic tier, above Nightfall and below Scarab.
Some Scorpions battle ready.
Another defense mission, Hold the Line, involves Douglas and a squad protecting a particle cannon to use against the banished ship. Personally, I feel this is another slower defense mission and I do not believe I have much else to say about it. Therefore, I think I may place it in Majestic tier, above the Oracle and below Floodgate. Under the Dark is a mission in which the player controls Jerome and a small team to infiltrate banished bases and their ship in order to take it down. A secondary plot involves Alice and another group protecting Kodiaks to help Jerome's efforts. I think this level is quite enjoyable, almost having an on our last legs feel to it in my opinion. Therefore, I think I may place Under the Dark in Legendary tier, above Tip of the Spear and below Blue Team.
Step carefully and clear them out.
The Foundry involves a squad pushing back a banished force to make their way to the Halo Rings control room. In doing this, the player finds a scarab and takes control of it. Using said scarab to break through enemy lines, as well as the general push towards the goal, is by what I feel a fun and exciting variation before the final missions of the game. Therefore, I think I may place the Foundry in Mythic tier above Scarab and below Swords of Sanghelios. The Halo involves the player capturing and holding 3 points whilst combating banished forces and a sort of boss sentinel known as the Retriever. I feel this level is fairly basic, however with a few neat moments, most noticeably with the Retriever itself. Therefore, I think I may place it in Noble tier, above Guardians and below Basalt on the Control Room.
Enough fun.
The final stage, Last Stand, has the player defend the control room whilst the Professor works inside. As no bases can be built in the time frame, extra units come in directly from the Spirit of Fire, and turrets along with Red Team are used as the primary defensive measure. It's displayed as a battle using all the leftover resources the Spirit of Fire can muster, as the Banished come with all sorts of units including a Scarab. However, otherwise, it plays as a fairly standard defense mission, I feel. I think with the amount of tension built up in consideration, I may place Last Stand in Noble tier at the top above Kikowani Station. Alrighty, there is my ranking of base Halo Wars 2's stages. Next time I'll most likely be covering the DLC stages from Operation Spearbreaker and Awakening the Nightmare. However, for now, I believe that is all from me. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers everyone!